We are going to work on adding a shoe image to Photoshop and then making it look like a little fairy house. And this is going to teach us the skill of combining multiple photos and also some neat shadow effects. So first you're going to pull up the picture you took of your shoe and drag it in to Photoshop. Once it's in there, we're going to go ahead and remove background. You should have a pop-up here. If not, you can always go to Window and turn on your taskbar, and then it should say Remove Background. So we're going to click Remove Background. It probably won't do it absolutely perfectly, so you can go into the Eraser tool, which is here on the left. Make sure if you right-click, it's on the top tool, and we're just going to clean it up. You can always change the size of your eraser. Remember, your options bar has options specific to the tool you're on. So right now we're on the eraser tool. So we're going to clean up our shoe. I'm going to get rid of some of my sock here because we don't need that. Okay. And voila. Okay, now I'm going to add in a background. I provided you guys a copy of a green field, but you don't have to use that one. If you want your shoe to be in a forest, if you want your shoe to be on the beach, it's up to you. Okay, so the green field is going to go in. Make sure you move that layer to the bottom so that it's in the back. I'm going to go to the Move tool and arrange my shoe where I want. If you hover up in the corner right here, you see those little arrows that are sideways. This means you can also like tilt and arrange your shoe how you want to. Okay, so I have my shoe in a field. Now we're going to make it into more of a house. Okay, the first thing I want to do though is make it look like my shoe is not just floating. So I'm going to do that by adding shadows. So in the bottom right corner, you see this little plus sign. The plus sign will let you add a layer. So I'm going to add a layer just for shadows. I'm going to go to the paintbrush tool, which is here. And remember, my options bar will now be completely about paintbrush. I'm going to go to a soft round brush, and it's on 49, which is pretty good size. Opacity, I'm going to change it to about halfway. I'm actually going to make it a bit bigger, so something about here. Okay, you can also like squish your circle, so it's, you see how that's more of an oval now, or I can make it more of this. So if I want to do more of an oval and just make it giant, but it's really up to you. Okay, so what we're going to do is with this layer, it's going to be in between the shoe layer and the grass layer, and I'm just going to add some shadowing effects down here. And the more you go over it, the darker it will get. So you see as I kind of like repeat the area immediately under the shoe, that area will become darker. Okay, now I'm going to add a layer for grass shadows. So I'm going to hit plus again, and I have another layer. This one is just the oval shadow. This one is going to be a grass shadow. And what I want is my boot to have some grass overlapping it. So I'm going to go back to the brush tool. I'm going to come up here. For you guys, you probably need to turn on your legacy brushes. So you're going to see these options, but not legacy brushes. If you come over to the gear and click legacy brushes though, it will turn on that list for you guys. So you're going to hit the gear, you're going to hit legacy brushes, and then you'll be able to see these options. The grass option is under legacy brushes. You can search, or you can just come up here and type grass, and you're going to see a couple different options. Okay, so we're going to click whichever one you want. Maybe I'll try dune grass this time. The color, actually I'm going to do the other one. I like the other one. You can kind of see what it looks like right here. Okay, so this is what my grass will look like, the size of it. If you want to change the size, just come in here and kind of play with it. The colors of your grass are going to be right here. So it's going to be a green and a gray. You can flip those. You can click on them to change the color. You can color match with like the grass that's here. So I can make it more of a dark green and a lighter green if I want. Okay, so then I'm going to come over and I want this actually on top of the boot. And you can see as I add grass that it's adding it on top of the boot. And you can just drag, and the more you drag, the more grass it will add. and it's gonna look kind of like this. If you want it to be more shadowy grass, you can change one of these colors to more of a dark kind of gray color. And we can add some of that in. Make sure we're in the brush tool still. See how some of it's darker now. So it gives it some depth and it makes it look like the shoe is not just floating there in the middle of the grass. Okay, so once we've done that, we can decorate, which is the fun part. So you can add a roof on it, you can add a mushroom roof. There are a couple different fun mushrooms that I added for you guys that you can play with. And we can just kind of remember, if you hover on the corner, you can tilt it. I'm gonna make it kind of line up though. I'm gonna put this behind the boot so it's sticking out. I'm gonna add a little door in. Let's see what I have. I may add these from Google. So you can just Google it and see what you pull up. And then fairy door. And just find a little door that you think is cute. And you can drag that image in. Remove the background, and I'll show you how to blend the colors with it too. And then you'll really have to use layers on this to make sure everything is in the correct layer spot, okay? And you can always go back and add more grass on top of things as well. Okay, I'm gonna go in and instead of fairy doors this time, I'm gonna add window. Background. I did not like that. One thing you can do under the eraser tool is use the magic eraser, and this will erase everything that's the same color. So for example, that just erased the white in the background if the other tool does not work super well. But I'm gonna add a little window there, and then I want a second window. So I'm gonna copy and paste that one. And then you can use over here on the right, there's a flip tool. So it's not like perfectly matching the other one. I can flip it over. Okay, now these seem kind of bright. So one thing I am gonna do is go back to my oval shadow tool. Actually, I'm gonna add a new layer because I want it on top. I'm gonna add a layer on top, and this is going to be window, door, shadows. And then I'm going to go back to the paintbrush tool. This time, I just want a normal circle. So under general brushes, soft round, and I'm just gonna add a little bit, oops. It'll be whatever color's on top here. So I'm gonna add a little bit. It's too dark. Maybe a light gray, and then maybe I make it a little more see-through. Add, still too green, okay. Here. And you just kind of have to play with it. And this will just make it not quite so bright, so it's not so obviously different than the rest of the shoe. And you can just add some kind of shadows in there to darken it and make it blend a little bit better. Okay, if you want to add vines or anything else, just Google it, be creative and think of some fun things that might be neat to have on your shoe. Remove background. And you can just kind of have them growing up the side of your shoe. And then remember, you can use this little flip tool here if you want some of them to go a different direction. All right, when you are finished, take a screenshot, Command-Shift-4, and turn it in.